Now, you proposed Proposition S and Proposition U, but I have a proposition for you today. So let's get started with TCLN Network right here, and let's jump right in. Let's discuss what you've been discussing and what you've been debating in the city of Dallas.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top, yeah. You know I'm always honest. There ain't no way I'm ever stopping till I'm on top, yeah.
I want to start with Dallas, Texas, because Dallas is the perfect example of what is actually going on in the city when it comes to putting more police officers on the streets or not, making streets safer, and taxpayers and what they are concerned about when it comes to their tax dollars. Let's jump right in. So in Dallas, they decided to vote on Proposition S and Proposition U. But as they debate over whether more police officers are needed on the streets to make the streets safer, I believe that there's a better proposition. Because is it about police officers more, or is it about police officers and integrity? You see, police officers don't just wear a badge. They also should carry integrity. Far too long, many young people have been on the streets, right? Hanging out on corners. And then you have those who are going to colleges and doing great things with their lives. And then you have those who are working, everyday working people, and they have big hopes and dreams also. So what is going on with the youth, even though they're in different categories doing different things, but so many of them we are losing in today's society? Take, for instance, Kata Scott. Kata Scott has been all over the national news, just like Gabby Petito, who was all over the news a couple of years ago, right? So if you've noticed, these are two different young women. They both come from different backgrounds and both lost their lives due to violence. So what is going on? More officers we think that are needed, or is there something else going on? What I want to touch on today is this Proposition S and U, for those who really don't understand what the proposition is all about. And as I speak with Dallas, because Dallas is the one voters who proposed it, also other cities can learn something themselves along the way. And I think that as we propose better ideas, instead of thinking about more salaries, more officers, more streets being safe, I think that when we come together as a collective and we bring together ideas that are really helping the community, not just helping you as a taxpayer, not just helping you as an officer with a better salary, and not just putting more officers on the streets, but as you get more creative and you think of better ideas, I'm here to tell you, this is what's going to make the streets safer. This is what's going to make your cities better. And this is what's going to make all of us stand out as a whole as Americans. Dallas is not the only city that has been concerned about safer streets. And even though it's been reported over time that some of the crime has went down, according to other reports, there have been crime all over America, right? Violence, political violence, all kind of things going on, right? And so with all of this chaos that's been going on, there have been forces that's been called in. Of course, you had ICE with immigration, and you've also had other law enforcement because there have been cities who have been saying that their streets haven't been so safe. So what is the answer? I think if we unselfish ourselves, let me say that again. I think if we unselfish ourselves, then we will get to tap into some propositions that may work personally, professionally, and also socially. Both Proposition U and Proposition S promise more police officers on the streets, safer streets, and better resources. But do we need more resources? Do we need more officers? Do we need more salaries being paid out through taxpayers? Or are there better ideas? That's the question. I am drilling that home because that's very, very important. Because a lot of times we just getting stuck between taxpayers' dollars, what taxpayers want, what the city wants, what the city doesn't want, and what everybody wants and what everybody don't want, which make us all selfish. But let's think about it. All of what we fighting for, safer streets, more salaries, better lives overall, what we fail to realize, the reason why there is crime in the first place is because we're overlooking things that we should be solving. Let me give you an example. There are teens that hang out in downtown Dallas every day, all day. Not just teens, but adults. They have no direction for their lives. They have no one to inspire them. And guess what? Right across the street, the DART police hangs out just the same. Police officers who are called on to DART, to serve, to keep a watch out, hang right across the street, downtown Dallas, where the youth hangs out all day long. No one inspires the youth there. I know, I lived there many years. I saw it many, many years. No one goes to say, hey, guys, you're better than this corner. No one puts a proposition in place to say, hey, let's use some of these resources to get these youth off the streets, to get the violence off our streets, right? Because so many youth are dying. And even though some of them have dreams and some of them have goals and some of them have hope, it's unfortunate that some of them do not have direction. And when they don't have direction, they end up hanging around the wrong types of people. They end up hanging out, socializing with people that's getting them nowhere. And how about if some of those resources were, you're asking for a 75,000, 85,000 police increase. So you say police officers, if they were paid more, you said that they will be able to serve more and you can hire more. But how about not necessarily more police officers? How about if you took some of that money? So think about it. You hired what? You say you have to have a minimum through Proposition U, a minimum through 4,000 police officers, right? 4,000. Now I want you to think about that. You were debating and struggling over this proposition in conjunction with Proposition S, which gives citizens or voters the right to sue just in case you do not uphold Proposition U. Now I want you to think about this. What if taxpayers, what if the city, and what if police officers looked at some of that income that you would pay all those officers that you would hire annually? I want you to think about this. If some of that money was taken, think about it, and it was used to get some of those youth off the streets, hanging in the street corners of Dallas, to get some of the people some better programs, some better education. Think about it. You do not have to spend that money on them annually. You just don't. You can create programs that can get them going, get them started, get them moving in the right direction, get them around mentors that can make sure that they stay in the right direction. And let me remind you, Dallas is great at what they do. They just have to make a choice that, do you do it for some or do you do it for all? Now, let me give you an example.